Metabolic dysfunction-associated steatotic liver disease, or MASLD, is the modern hepatic manifestation of systemic metabolic syndrome. It occurs when excess triglycerides accumulate inside liver cells, triggering inflammation and progressive cellular damage. Yet this clinical profile regularly appears in two distinct patient populations with completely inverted hormonal states. In men, the condition is associated with hypogonadism, a state defined by a severe deficiency in circulating testosterone. In women, the pathology is linked to hyperandrogenism, highly elevated testosterone levels, frequently observed in disorders like polycystic ovary syndrome. This comparison shows the metabolic panels of a typical male and female patient side by side. Both patients exhibit identical liver abnormalities, with elevated triglycerides and high ALT enzymes, but their gonadal states are opposites. The male's testosterone has plunged, while the female's has spiked. Despite moving in opposite directions, the testosterone levels for both patients have landed in the exact same adverse concentration range. The male patient's testosterone has fallen below the baseline required to maintain lean muscle mass. The female patient's testosterone has risen to a tier where the hormone becomes highly lipotoxic. MASLD presents as a sex-dimorphic condition where highly divergent hormonal states converge on a single pattern of hepatic damage. In a healthy male, testosterone acts as a powerful metabolic protector. At the intracellular level, the androgen receptor actively inhibits de novo lipogenesis, preventing the liver from synthesizing new fat. The system breaks when excess visceral adipose tissue begins to accumulate around the abdominal organs. As the fat mass grows, macrophages infiltrate this tissue, swelling within the dense adipocyte matrix to release inflammatory cytokines like TNF-alpha and interleukin-6. These cytokines travel directly to the brain, where they suppress the pituitary gland's ability to release gonadotropin-releasing hormone. This flowchart illustrates a dual attack. Cytokines suppress the pituitary gland, while local aromatase in visceral fat converts circulating testosterone into estradiol. This profound suppression creates a vicious loop. Low testosterone removes the brake on lipogenesis, accelerating even more visceral fat deposition. This unchecked expansion eventually exceeds the storage capacity of the adipocytes, forcing a massive afflux of free fatty acids directly into the liver. For men, the development of hepatic steatosis is the result of a self-sustaining androgen deprivation loop. The female model operates under different constraints. Even in a hyperandrogenic state, a woman's testosterone never reaches the threshold required to build protective lean muscle mass. The primary driver of the female pathology begins with hyperinsulinemia, a chronic excess of circulating insulin. Under healthy conditions, a transport protein called sex hormone-binding globulin, or SHBG, safely binds 65% of circulating testosterone, rendering it inactive. This logic model tracks insulin and SHBG. As insulin rises, liver production of SHBG drops, causing bioavailable free testosterone to aggressively spike. This free testosterone attacks pre-adipocytes, blocking their differentiation. Existing fat cells are forced into compensatory hypertrophy, becoming enlarged, dysfunctional, and insulin-resistant. The sudden excess of androgens forces the female body to alter its natural fat distribution, shifting storage away from safe subcutaneous gynoid depots in the hips and thighs. The fat is aggressively redistributed into android, visceral depots deep within the abdominal cavity. Here is the anatomical consequence. The new visceral fat mass drains its highly lipotoxic byproducts directly into the liver via the portal circulation. In hyperandrogenic women, androgen excess forces an anatomical restructuring of fat reserves, transforming the portal vein into a direct pipeline for lipotoxicity. The healthy female metabolic baseline relies heavily on 17-beta estradiol. To examine how estrogen protects the liver, we have to look down at the intracellular level of a single hepatocyte. This intracellular map shows the estrogen receptor alpha pathway. ER-alpha physically blocks the transcription pathways responsible for gluconeogenesis while accelerating mitochondrial beta oxidation to burn energy. Systemically, estradiol also directs fat storage back to safe subcutaneous depots, away from abdominal organs. This defense collapses during female hypogonadism, triggered by natural menopause, surgical menopause, or functional hypothalamic amenorrhea. Abrupt estradiol withdrawal causes the ER-alpha shield to dissolve, allowing a sudden rush of oxidative molecules to flood the cell. The loss of the shield allows a rapid accumulation of oxidative stress markers inside the hepatocyte and removes the brakes on central adiposity. Female hypogonadism triggers hepatic steatosis independently of chronological aging. The liver fails because it has been stripped of its primary chemical defense. Comparing the male and female metabolic pathways shows how these distinct endocrine disruptions intersect. Losing testosterone in men and gaining free testosterone in women lead the body to the exact same destination. That destination is a state of advanced cellular dysfunction, marked by unchecked lipid droplet accumulation and the collapse of mitochondrial energy production. Once steatosis is established, the liver itself begins to exacerbate the systemic endocrine imbalance. Healthy liver tissue relies on an enzyme called AKR1D1 to routinely inactivate circulating androgens. This feedback loop illustrates the final complication. As fat infiltrates the liver, it downregulates AKR1D1 expression, crippling the body's ability to clear excess androgens. This biochemical failure locks the patient into a permanent metabolic endocrine loop, where liver disease continuously degrades the hormonal environment. Standard dietary and lifestyle interventions frequently fail these specific patient cohorts because caloric restriction alone cannot rebuild the underlying hormonal architecture. Effective management of steatotic liver disease demands an endocrinological strategy. Whether utilizing testosterone replacement in men or anti-androgen therapies in women, resolving the sex-steroid axis is mandatory to save the liver.